What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Slackers. And why, yes, I did just get a new haircut. Thanks for asking. Said nobody. Either way, we got some massive amounts of new gameplay elements to discuss. One of the devs on Discord was going through a bunch of this stuff and figured I'd compile it into one video because there's a lot of interesting stuff in here. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump into the first thing. So first up is about projectiles and reflecting them. Now, this is a thing that we did see with April O'Neil during her reveal trailer a few weeks ago. She uses, I believe, that the boom mic, I believe is what that move was, and she ends up reflecting SpongeBob's bubble, and we're like, okay, cool. Reflectiles can, or reflectile? Projectiles can be reflected. And that's pretty much the thing for the whole game, right? Strong attacks in the game are capable of reflecting almost every projectile. Now, it doesn't go on to say which projectiles from which characters can't be reflected, but, you know, maybe we'll figure that out on our own at some later date. Maybe there's a character that is yet to be revealed that has some sort of projectile that just can't be reflected whatsoever, but, you know, it is what it is. So, strong attacks. And again, remember, there's 3 types of attacks in this game: light, strong, and special attacks. Strong attacks are the only one that can reflect things. And the cool thing is, not only can they reflect it on the ground, but strong attacks, and again, strong attacks can be used on the ground and in the air. I mentioned that during the SpongeBob and Patrick moveset breakdown that I did yesterday. And yes, so whether you're in the ground or the air, you can always do a strong attack. And if your opponent's trying to fire off a projectile, again, no matter where you are, hit that strong attack, it can reflect the projectile back at the, well, projectiler, the person using the projectile. So, but what happens if that opponent happens to, you know, so that, say SpongeBob shoots out, you know, he blows a bubble, right? And then somebody reflects it back at him. Can SpongeBob ultimately reflect it back at his opponent? Well, guess what? Yes, they can. Here's an interesting thing about projectiles. Once they get reflected, they actually get stronger. Now, I believe Smash Bros. Has something like this as well, but I think there's like a limit on it, but we'll discuss more on that for All-Star Brawl here. But yes, they do get stronger projectiles the more that they get reflected. And once a reflected projectile, basically, so let me put it this way. SpongeBob, going back to SpongeBob here, if SpongeBob blows his bubble and it gets reflected, you know, so he blows the bubble, it gets reflected back at him. If he tries to use the exact same bubble, you know, a brand new one, while the other one's coming back at him, getting reflected, the reflected projectile will go through the brand new bubble, so any new projectile that gets created in hopes to, like, cancel it out, you know, not going to work. Reflected projectile is going to be stronger, and I guess faster as well, and it's just going to go right through the new one. So don't try to cancel out a projectile that got reflected with a brand new one. Not going to work. So that's kind of interesting to keep note of, right? So, and then also reflected projectiles, like I kind of was just saying, reflected projectiles can be reflected back. So SpongeBob blows the bubble, it gets bounced back towards SpongeBob. He uses a strong attack and it can go right back to his opponent. So if your opponent's not paying attention after they reflect the projectile, hit him with it right back. Send it back. And again, remember, it's going to be stronger than before. So it's essentially, I don't know what the increment is for increased damage. So I don't know if it goes, all right, it gets reflected and then it's twice as powerful. I'm not sure what that is. That wasn't broken down here, but we'll just say as an example, what if, you know, he blows the bubble, gets bounced back. Maybe it's twice as strong now, right? And then if you bounce it back, does it become 4 times as strong or 3 times as strong? I don't know. That will be something to keep an eye out for. That could be very game-changing. Very game-changing. All right, what do we got next? What do I have here? Projectile Boosts. Here we go. This, the projectiles, once they keep getting reflected, the boosts do get capped after a certain point. But, you know, so like damage-wise, it's not gonna keep escalating. Eventually, it will hit a max point for damage, and it will just be whatever. So the point here, though, is there's no reflect limit. So if you can time it properly, a move right between 2 characters, you can sit there and reflect the same projectile over and bouncing back and forth. So there's no limit on reflecting a certain projectile. So You know, if you want to sit there and try to play that game with your opponent, I mean, it could be fun. Maybe, you know, somebody might try that just for a video, just see. All right, let's reflect the same projectile 100 times. I don't know, just to see what happens, and then see what the damage cap is. You know, 0 to, does it go to max damage? Could be a fun little thing to figure out eventually, but then Rep does go on to also follow up on this. There's no reflect limit, and why is that? Well, largely because there's no real indefinite reflector. And he goes on to compare it to Fox's down special. You know, he's got the reflector around him. And you know, you can sit there and hold that with Fox, right? And it goes on for like ever, right? Well, no, reflectors in this game, they don't have anything like a Fox's reflector. They don't have that. Anything that is a reflector is only out for a very small period of time. It's only out for, I don't know, a second or two. So it's not something that you can just sit there and hold down special and hopefully whatever, you know, if you think your opponent's about to try to spam projectiles, no character has that reflector that's just unlimited, ready to go, to bounce whatever. No, you have to time reflecting those projectiles perfectly. So there's a little bit of skill involved there, so it's not just, all right, sit there and here's my reflect. All right, yeah, go ahead. Send the projectile. Nah, that's not how that works. So it's kind of cool. No reflect limit, but I don't know. It could be a fun little thing to see. What else do we have here? Okay, here's an interesting one. So we're just talking about Fox's down special, right? And how that's a down special. Well, no characters, there are no dedicated reflector moves for special attacks. Going back to what we started with, strong attacks are the ones that reflect attacks. So there's no special moves whatsoever that reflect projectiles. That is not a thing. That does not exist. So there's no dedicated ones, at least. Though there may be some specials that have reflecting properties. So again, there's no example of a character that might be able to do this. So it's basically, there's no character that has a Fox reflector. There's no moves like that in the game. But as an example, and this is not from the devs, I'm just using this as an example. Maybe SpongeBob's bubble is able to reflect another projectile. Michelangelo's pizza toss, maybe that can reflect the projectile as well. I'm not sure, but there might be some special moves that have reflecting properties. So, you know, keep an eye out for which ones can do that and have fun from there, right? What else do we got here? Here we go. Here's an interesting one. It revolves around air dashing. And air dashing is very fun. A lot of people enjoy it. And in Smash Bros, I believe it's what, four directions, right? Well, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, according to Ludosity on Twitter, in case anybody is new and you're like, who's Ludosity? What is Ludosity? Ludosity is the dev team that works on the gameplay for this game. So they know what they're talking about. So yes, there's that quick clarification. But there are 8 different air dash directions. So think of it as you got north, south, east, west, and then you have northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast. So that's what you got for your options for air dashing, which is kind of cool. You know, more options, the better. Your opponent's going to try to predict, all right, they're going to try to go one direction. All right, now fake, I got 7 others to pick from. So kind of a cool little topic, a little touch on air dashing right there, which is pretty cool. And then what else we got here? What is this one? This could mess up some people in regards of using your control stick for certain ways that you air dash. Maybe, I don't know if this counts for attacks as well, but the game is not analog at all, meaning the game doesn't care how far to the right you're holding the control stick. So if your control stick is even slightly budged, so if you have a broken control stick, that slightly leans to the right, slightly goes to the left, the game will read it as, all right, it's going to the right or it's going to the left. So you do got to be a little bit careful. And again, this is particularly for air dashing. I don't know if that involves moves or not, but right now this is at least air dash wise. So if you're going to try to use that, make sure you don't accidentally bump the stick in one direction, even the slightest little touch. The game will read it as, all right, it was the stick was going right, even though you may have wanted to go left or maybe up, right, whatever it might be. So just make sure you get that your direction known. Don't bump the stick early. Just you know, keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. But what else? One more thing? Yeah, I think I got one more thing here. So Nick could only allow for the 8 directions for air dashing because of another big factor in the game, and it's something that hasn't really been touched on. And there's no tap jumping in this game. There's no tap jumping because of, I guess, Nick's control scheme is all digital. All right, cool. So there's that. But no tap jumping. I know some people do like to use tap jumping. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of it. So for me, I guess that's okay. But there are some people that prefer that. So if you're going into this, again, this may be a Smash Bros. Type of game in terms of, all right, it's a mascot party brawler. But again, just because Smash Bros. Does something doesn't mean this game is going to do it or have that in its game. This is trying to separate itself. This is trying to do something different. This is just trying to have its own identity. And anybody that continues to say, all right, Smash Bros. Has this, All-Star Brawl better have this or it fails. That's the complete wrong mindset to have. This is its own game, all right? It's got its own characters, its own information of moves and air dashing and all this stuff. It's got its own everything. It's not trying to beat out Smash Bros. It's just trying to be another game in that genre, and the genre is very successful. So, yes, that's all we can really hope for. So, yes, that is all I got for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is quite a bit of info. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, like I said, that's all I got for this one. I do hope you guys enjoyed, as always, and I guess I'll see you when I'm looking at you.